If the forgiveness is fake, by Krishna's mercy. Yadi shaknoshi gachatvam ati chanchal cheshtit, itya uktva cha nijam karma sa chakara kutumbini. Quote, O naughty child, now try going from here if you can. Having spoken thus, she returned to her household duties. Vishnu Purana 5.6.15.
During childhood, were you ever compelled to offer an apology? They say it should be sincere and heartfelt. Today, I am talking about the ones that were fake and reluctant. It was the last thing you wanted to do. Your parents made you say that you were sorry when the entire time you were upset that the other person complained. In your eyes, they had it coming. You were happy with what you did. It was nice to get revenge. You didn't feel bad for them at all. They should stop crying like a baby. What about when the roles are reversed? Did someone ever apologize to you when you knew they didn't mean it? Did someone ever offer forgiveness for something that you might have done, but you feel like they were trying to use that forgiveness as a commodity? They were being the better person, you see. They really didn't want to forgive. The forgiveness was fake. They were making a show of it, offering grace to present a better face. These are things I contemplate every so often. Not that forgiving someone is bad or that intentionally hurting someone is good. To me, it would be nice if people just said what they mean and mean what they say. Take ownership and accountability for your actions. Stop trying to patronize me. I think society would be in a better place if people were forthright and open. This got me to thinking about worship, especially since you are always pushing devotional service, which is bhakti yoga. Think of how many people worship just because they feel compelled to, like they are afraid of punishment. They are being subtly nudged along, forced to make offerings before a deity that they think has control over outcomes. I don't even call that devotion. How can you? It is like a business transaction. It is like a prisoner bargaining for early parole. Why would the object of worship ever appreciate that kind of relationship? Wouldn't it be better if people weren't so afraid? If I complain when the forgiveness is fake, imagine how God must feel when the worship is fake.
This is the entire objective of the culture of bhakti yoga, to reach a position of pure and unmotivated devotion. Srimad Bhagavatam declares that attaining such a platform is itself the definition of religion. It does not necessarily matter how the individual reaches the destination. The path might be different for you than it is for me. I might read a different book, eat different kinds of food, and speak a different language. If we both reach the stage of pure devotion, then the steps we took along the way, which can be called dharma, are valid. Sa vai punsa paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaje ahaitukya apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Quote, the supreme occupation, dharma, for all humanity, is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.6. Pivoting off the example from above, do we know of instances where the forgiveness is real? A case where someone says that they are sorry and they actually mean it. They have carefully considered the matter. They have reviewed the particulars and determined that there were offenses made. How about an instance where a person chooses to forgive because they understand the innocence in the mistakes of the perpetrator? Shri Prahlad Uvach, Varam Varaya Etatte Varadeshan Maheshwar, Yad Nindat Pita Me Tvam Vidwan Stej Aishwaram, Vidhamarshashe, Sakshat Sarvalok Guru Prabhum, Bhratra Heti Mrisha Drishtistvad Bhakte Mai Chaghavan, Tasmat Pita Me Puyeta Durantad Dustarad Ghat, putaste panga sandrishtastada kripanvatsala. Quote, Prahlad Maharaj said, O Supreme Lord, because you are so merciful to the fallen souls, I ask you for only one benediction. I know that my father, at the time of his death, had already been purified by your glance upon him, but because of his ignorance of your beautiful power and supremacy, he was unnecessarily angry at you, falsely thinking that you were the killer of his brother. Thus he directly blasphemed your lordship, the spiritual master of all living beings, and committed heavily sinful activities directed against me, your devotee. I wish that he be excused for these sinful activities. Srimad Bhagavatam 7-10, 15-17. We have the ideal example in Prahlad Maharaj. Though he was only 5 years of age, he had a better understanding of the human psychology than his father, who was the king named Hiranyakashipu. Prahlad offered genuine forgiveness. He really meant it. There was no interest to be furthered, as his father had been vanquished in a violent conflict only moments prior. Prahlad asked for forgiveness from someone who could make it happen. The petitioner understood that Hiranyakashipu could have the slate wiped clean, so to speak. The forgiveness was real because Prahlad understood the depths to which a person can fall when their senses are left uncontrolled. They can do unspeakable and regrettable things to the most innocent of victims. Prahlad was on the receiving end of lethal attacks. These were instigated by his envious father. The forgiveness from Prahlad was real, and so was the worship from the child towards the awe-inspiring nursing. As there is a real version of forgiveness, there are also instances of genuine worship. If God were to live in our community, appearing right before our eyes on a daily basis, how would we view him? We might ask him to relieve our distresses. We might request financial assistance. We might look to find a situation free of anxiety where we no longer have to worry about the future. Chaturvidha bhajante mam. Jana sukritino Arjun. Arto jigyasur artharthi. Jnani cha bhartarshabha. Quote, O best among the Bharts, Arjuna, 4 kinds of pious men render devotional service unto me: the distressed, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita 7:16. A long time ago, the people of Gokula had this very opportunity. They were blessed with the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his avatar of Sri Krishna. Absent a dire emergency, the people did not ask anything of Krishna. They did not look to extract personal gain. Rather, they only offered loving service. They loved in the manner corresponding to their relationship. A dutiful housewife like Yashoda has God living in her home as her son. She is the caring mother. She is not afraid to bind young Krishna to a mortar. She is not afraid to taunt him after offering this mild punishment. She is not afraid to be a parent to someone who has no birth and no death. Krishna has control over the entire universe, but from the love of Yashoda, the same Krishna comes under control. In closing, if only for clemency appeal, then how the worship is real. If only looking benefit to extract, how religion in definition exact. Perhaps in the beginning fear, but association blemishes to clear, such that even as parent can command, like Yashoda over Damodar to stand.